Hello, welcome back to the channel, and thank you for joining me again today. We have a very important piece of news that has sparked a lot of attention across South Africa. Khumo Kumalo has made a strong call for inclusive governance with a message that South Africa belongs to all. This has been trending, it has been debated, and many South Africans have weighed in on what it really means in our current climate. Please make sure you listen till the end so you can hear the sources I used and even try to verify them for yourself. And while you are here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you never miss out on updates that matter to you. Now, this call from Khumo Kumalo comes at a very sensitive time in South Africa's politics and social life. For years, the phrase South Africa belongs to all who live in it has been tied to the Freedom Charter, a guiding principle for equality, justice, and unity. But Kumalo has brought it back into the spotlight by stressing that inclusive governance is no longer just a nice-sounding idea, it's a necessity if South Africa is to move forward. We know our country faces deep divisions, economic inequality, racial tensions, unemployment, and also the challenges of undocumented migrants and strained public resources. Many South Africans feel left out of decision-making and policy changes that directly affect their lives. Kumalo's message of inclusivity is not just about saying nice words, it's a direct call for those in leadership to govern in a way that respects all South Africans, not just a select few. During the national dialogue where Kumalo spoke, she emphasized that governance should reflect the lived realities of ordinary citizens. That means listening to voices from Alexandra, Soweto, Mamelodi, Khayelitsha, and even the smallest rural towns where communities still feel neglected. She pointed out that when policies are made in parliament or provincial legislatures without properly consulting the people they affect, then governance becomes disconnected from reality. Kumalo's statement is also significant because it speaks to the frustrations of young South Africans. Youth unemployment remains one of the biggest threats to the country's stability. Many young people say they feel excluded from opportunities, excluded from government programs, and excluded from the benefits of democracy. By calling for inclusive governance, Kumalo is saying young people, women, the poor, and even minorities should feel like they have a voice in how the country is run. This idea of inclusivity also challenges the way corruption has weakened trust in the state. When leaders are caught looting resources meant for development, it widens the gap between rich and poor and fuels the belief that the government does not belong to everyone, but only to the connected elite. Kumalo's words have resonated because she is essentially saying South Africa can only truly belong to all when corruption is defeated and when governance becomes transparent and accountable. Of course, her comments have sparked debate. Some South Africans welcome the message, saying it reflects the dream of a united and equal country that was promised in 1994. Others have been more skeptical, pointing out that while inclusive governance sounds good, it's not always practical in a nation with so many competing interests. For instance, business sectors want economic policies that encourage growth and investment, while workers and unions want protections and fair wages. Finding a balance between those interests is never easy. Still, Kumalo insists that inclusive governance is not about choosing one group over another, but about finding common ground and ensuring that policies are fair and beneficial across the board. That may sound idealistic, but without ideals and principles, governance risks becoming cold and detached from the people it serves. We must also look at the timing of these remarks. The country is heading into an intense political period, with elections drawing nearer. Calls for inclusivity might also be seen as a challenge to political parties who have been accused of ignoring certain communities in their campaigns and governance. Whether it's service delivery protests, crime, or unemployment, many citizens have been saying for years that they do not feel seen or heard by those in power. Kumalo's statement is like a reminder that the original dream of South Africa was for everyone to feel that they belong, not just in words, but in real access to opportunities, justice, and dignity. Another important part of her message touches on immigrants and the question of who exactly South Africa belongs to. Some people argue that the country is overburdened by undocumented foreigners, while others remind us that South Africa has always been a diverse and open society. Kumalo did not shy away from this sensitive issue but emphasized that inclusivity should be rooted in fairness, law, and humanity. That means recognizing the rights of South Africans first, but also ensuring that our society does not fall into xenophobia or exclusionary practices that go against our constitution. Now, what does inclusive governance look like in practice? It could mean more community-based decision-making, where local residents are directly involved in shaping service delivery projects. It could mean genuine consultation before laws are passed, not just ticking a box. It could also mean ensuring that every province, from Gauteng to Limpopo to the Northern Cape, receives fair treatment in national planning. Kumalo's point is that inclusivity is about building a government that serves everyone equally, not leaving some behind while others prosper. Her words also reminded many of Nelson Mandela's vision, where reconciliation and unity were the foundation of a new South Africa. That vision has been tested over the years, and Kumalo is saying it is time to return to those values, but with practical steps that citizens can actually feel in their daily lives. Of course, as South Africans, we know that speeches alone don't put food on the table or create jobs. Many people are saying that Kumalo's challenge to the government must be matched by action. Otherwise, it risks being just another political slogan. But at the same time, her voice adds pressure on leaders to prioritize fairness, accountability, and inclusion as guiding principles of governance. As the debate continues, ordinary citizens will be the true judges of whether South Africa is living up to the idea that it belongs to all. It will show in whether the young graduate finally gets a job, whether the grandmother in a rural village has water and electricity, and whether corruption cases are actually prosecuted. Those are the signs that inclusivity is not just a phrase but a reality. So as we reflect on Kumalo's powerful words, maybe it's also a reminder to all of us. South Africa does belong to all, but it also requires all of us to play our part, to hold leaders accountable, and to stay engaged in the process of building the nation. After all, a democracy is only as strong as the people who participate in it. And on a lighter note, when Khumo Kumalo says South Africa belongs to all, I think she might even mean the Bray lovers, the Bunny Chow fans, and yes, even the people who somehow managed to finish a whole pot of pap alone. Maybe inclusivity also means making sure there's enough meat at the Bray for everyone. Now that's a policy we can all support. All images used are for illustration purposes only. Sources: SABC News, News 24, Times Live, Daily Maverick.